the front matter of the book that contains warnings and disclaimers. This is the third chapter of Bookworm 101 by R.L. Zareva, narrated by Rihanna Powell. The copyright of the book is owned by Compendia Publishing, all rights reserved. No part of this publication may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form by any means, electronic, mechanical, photocopying, recording, or otherwise, without the prior written permission of the copyright owner. No part of this publication may be used to develop and/or train artificial intelligence models, systems, or technology, with no exception for any AI-related uses that fall under the category of fair use or general purpose AI. No part of this publication that has been made publicly available online may be used in general web scraping, text or data mining practices, and/or any AI-related transformative uses. First published in the digital version on January 1st, 2025 with ISBN 978-196-3038-378. The audio version is published with ISBN 978-196-3038-408. Book banning and/or censorship are not something unfamiliar to us. At least in the place I came from, we grew up with this kind of norm. There is the 18+ sign on this book cover. If my pen name Rada Lubomirova were never mentioned in this book, we could have put 14+ on it. The governing bodies set the rules differently from one region to another. It's either 9, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, or even 21 years old. Because of that, the publisher and I refer to the highest one for the cover of my adult fiction works. Regardless of how morally grey characters are depicted in my books, we know that it's the right thing to put 21+ on the cover. Consider it as our moral compass is calibrated prior to publication. No, the sign on the top corner of the cover was never intended for the readers. Not everything that is shown means what it seems to be. It may be considered small, but that is a part of the technical writing to guide the librarians and bookshop staff. We are to prevent my books from being placed in the wrong section of the library and bookshop. If you find those signs helpful when deciding whether or not my books are suitable for your age, that will be something fulfilling for the publisher and me. Yet there is a relatively new discourse about trigger warning or content warning. So far, we've not found many books published by traditional publishing companies that carry on these warnings. Presumably, this is an indie or self-publishing thing. The discourse that has been in circulation is either that the warning list is too much like the restaurant menu, banishing the elements of surprise in the story, or the warning lists get criticised because not every triggering element that each and every reader has is listed, like the restaurant menu. Regardless of which is which, we might as well break them down. As for my books, here is the template of fair warning in the front matter. The explanations are numbered in relation to the superscripted numbers. This publication contains such and such. It is not suitable for readers with sensitivity to certain subjects and/or language expressions. Readers' discretion is advised. This work of fiction is not suitable for minors. The age of majority may vary from one area of jurisdiction to another. In the absence of clear guidance and/or limitations from the governing bodies, the publisher and author suggest that 21 years of age be the minimum age for reading this publication. The fair warning above is intended for the governing bodies or authorities where the reader is located. The wording is standard, generic, and obviously does not look like a restaurant menu. 1. This advisory is to satisfy the requirement for entertaining materials in certain regions. There are still censorship committees or agencies in other parts of the world. As surreal as it sounds in this modern day and age, not in every portion of land the freedom of speech is protected. 2. In the region where the age of majority is ruled lower than what we suggested, the reader who is no longer considered a minor by the governing bodies or authorities surely can read any of my books. Even if my fiction works are adult fiction filled with explicit romantic scenes, the reader can. It is neither my nor the publisher's place to judge anyone as being too young to read something or not. as long as the reader is in compliance with the limitations being enforced in the said region. The disclaimer in the front matter of my books is never intended for the readers, but for other related parties. Below is the template for my fiction writings. This publication is a work of fiction that draws inspiration from such and such, with some parts added for a dramatic purpose. This work of fiction is for entertainment purposes only, and is not to be treated as a matter of fact or as the ground for theories. However, the publisher and author support the continuation of education and learning. This publication may be included as a subject to study and criticize in the language arts, literature, culture, psychology, or any other related department or faculty. We provide a bibliography at the end of this book for the readers to look further into. If this publication leads the readers to reread the sources, then this literary art publication serves its purpose. The manuscript and cover of this publication are not generated by any artificial intelligence system. No part of this publication may be used to develop and/or train artificial intelligence models, systems, or technology, with no exception for any AI-related uses that fall under the category of fair use or general-purpose AI. No part of this publication that has been made publicly available online may be used in general web scraping, text, and data mining practices, and/or any AI-related transformative uses. 3. The first part is to disclose that the work is an adaptation or adaptive literature. We learnt it from the myth of Medusa. Tattoos of her figure have given empowerment to assault survivors. That one is according to the Roman version of her myth, a retelling by Ovid in Metamorphoses. It was an adaptation of the Greek version of her myth. In Theogony, Hesiod depicted Medusa in very much different ways. 4. Without having to do the extra paperwork to contact the publisher or me, higher education institutions or research programs can utilize my works. Our indie publishing is still a small team to this day. This part will save us some time in giving administrative approvals. 5. This one is to further emphasize point number 4. It is to save them some more time and effort in finding the main sources. Gatekeeping is not what the publisher nor I intend. Those academic study paper, research report, or journal publications can potentially give us more valuable feedback in the future. They are for others to learn further as well. 6. Readers might think that the sentence is to give authors transparency to the readers, but it's not. This sentence is for the book distribution and aggregator platforms to correctly classify the books. 7. The last part is to give the first layer of defense in mining and scraping. Not that we do not want the percentage of samples to be viewed by potential readers, but we need all parts of the publication to remain behind the paywall. It is about the terms of fair use in the US and general purpose in the EU. Regardless of the intended addressees, if the fair warning and disclaimer give the readers of my books better reading experiences, then we shall have much better feedback for us to hear.